Hey everybody, it's me, Josiah, Cynical Italian. I'm back. Got a bad back today. Back went out a couple days ago, and so it's takes me a minute to relax and get into it. God, it hurts bad. Uh, yeah, I'm 50. I could put that on my age, but really, I've had a bad back since I was a teenager. So I've dealt with this for a lot of years. It comes and goes. Most of the time, I'm perfectly fine, but every once in a while, my back will do a little, remember me? So that's where we're at. Sometimes I need help getting up out of seats. I need help getting up out of bed. But it only lasts for a day or two. Then I'm back on. So enough about me and my old crickety broken bones. Today, we're going to do another reaction. I'm going to go back to Adam Couser on this reaction, mostly because he's one of my favorite non-American reactors, reacting to American stuff. My other favorites is the New Zealand family. Those guys are great. I hope that they come and make another trip, or even Adam make another trip through northern Dallas here, because I'd like to hang out with them, take them out, show them around, show them some sights, just kind of hang out, give them a real side of America. And so Adam, or you wonderful New Zealand family, you guys know who you are. If you're around, let me know. But we are going to react. Now, Adam reacts to this other guy who I can't remember his name, and I've watched a couple of his videos, but usually when I see this other guy that Adam's reacting to, it is Adam reacting to him, or there's another British guy that I like to watch too. But today, it's about Adam and this gentleman, and I can't remember his name, but his show is called Lost on the Pond. And so this is Adam reacting to Lost on the Pond, words that Americans and British people pronounce differently. Who's right? Who's wrong? Let's get into it and see what Adam thinks, see what I think, and see what this other bloke thinks. Let's do it. So, here we go. Get a little something in my mouth there. Before we get started, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, all the wonderful things. You know what to do. Do them. Now, this isn't a very long video from Adam, but I do not use YouTube Premium, so we still sometimes have to deal with commercials. So we'll buzz through them as quickly as we can. But yeah, so we also are using all new lighting rigs that we've gotten. We've grown. We've got some new lighting rigs, as you saw in the last video. We did get hit by the TikTok shutdown bug. Not because of TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. But we were using CapCut as our main editor. And when TikTok went down, so did CapCut. On our last video, we got brand new cameras, and everything's all super 4K, HD, beautiful. Everything's beautiful. And then I had to put it into a different program that I hadn't paid for yet, and so it didn't let me render it in 4K, and so it took the level of video from up here down a little bit, so we're kind of fuzzy. Our last video wasn't bad. The lighting looks beautiful, everything looked beautiful, but in the editing software, it didn't let me bump it and keep it at the 4K, and so it ended up being compressed from 4K down, and it kind of affected the video. But we are back on track. I do like this new editing software that I'm using. It's pretty much got all the same things that CapCut had. So we're going to stick to that. I paid for the subscription, so all of the goodies have opened up, including rendering in super high def 4K. So this video will be the first video with all the new lights, new cameras, new programs, new everything, hopefully this will be our first, finally, crystal clear, beautiful video for you guys to watch. We started at the bottom. Go back, watch the first video and see how we were on an old camera. We had these mics. I've had these mics for a long time, but we had old camera, no lighting, super crappy rendering software. It was all super no budget. We slowly got to a low budget, medium budget. We're still nowhere near a high budget, but we have grown over the last 5 months, right along with our subscribers. Thank you for being over 1,000. It's awesome. Anyways, let's get into this. This is, Brit confused at words American pronounce differently than in the UK. Mr. Adam Couser reacting to another bloke, and then me reacting to both of them, actually. So let's do it.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football.
I say that. We got to start with a little commercial. It made us do it. Made us do it. I can't.
Okay, we need to talk. Right, we're going to disagree on a lot of things. We're probably going to argue in the comments. Tomato. That's what you say, right? Wrong. Tomato.
No, it's tomato.
Words Americans love asking Brits to say.
Americans very, very often
This guy.
like to say something along the lines of, I wish I could just stick you in the corner and listen to you speak.
No one wants to hear me speak.
Weirdly enough.
No.
The suggestion comes from
Okay. Well, wait, he said, you know what? Me and Lawrence, the way we pronounce words are also going to be different because we're both from the UK, but we're both from different countries.
Now, the first word up here is squirrel.
So you're going to get 3 different versions, maybe.
Oh, look at that squirrel running up the tree. See when I said it out loud and then I look at the spelling of it? Horrendous. I'm going to try and guess how you guys said squirrel. Look at that squirrel running up that goddamn tree.
Yeah, so I have squirrels in my backyard. We don't emphasize anything. It's a squirrel. And I've got 20 of them in my backyard and 2 big fat boys that live up on my roof. But it's a squirrel. That's how we say it. It's just a squirrel. You guys are squirrel and all these different. It's just squirrel.
Weirdly enough. And this suggestion comes from Stacey in Salt Spring Island, Canada.
Squirrel.
The word squirrel. I thought
Squirrel.
nothing of this pronunciation. I just assumed everybody said it pretty much like I do now. Squirrel. Squirrel. And then I
No.
realized how Americans say it, and it's more like squirrel.
Just like that
It
squirrel.
sounds like you pronounce the word squirrel with a bunch of nuts in your mouth.
Maybe me and the Americans said
Although they don't talk.
more similar to what we do with him.
Number 2 is mobile, which comes up a
Mobile.
lot in conversations about the differences between British and American English.
Mobile.
Mainly because, of course, Americans use cell phones, British people use mobile phones. But that's not where the differences end. In fact, the main difference here in this particular word.
I'm going to always say how we say it before they say it. Let me get readjusted here. It is not mobile. It's mobile. It's a mobile phone, a mobile home. It's mobile. We don't say it bile. It's bull. Mobile.
Pronunciation of it. And I think that's why Americans are so
Mobile.
ready
Oh, you
to
guys
hear
say
me say
mobile?
it.
Yep.
I say mobile, as I said.
Yeah.
But Americans, they like to say mobile when referring to
Yep,
things
mobile.
that move
Where's the
towards the phone.
pronunciation of the
Especially
E?
down in Alabama, where there's a city spelled exactly the same way, pronounced mobile. And that is why
Hell, I
this
did, I know,
word
man.
makes my brain melt through my
Mobile.
nose.
Mobile.
True story. A few days ago, I put out a video of me in the bath, and one of the comments after that was, "How do you, Lawrence, pronounce the
I'm going to
word
write these words down and then say them to him if I remember. World, mobile, bath.
bath?" Even though they've just seen the video in which I pronounced the word bath multiple times. As you can see, I say it as bath, not too dissimilar, in fact, to how most Americans would.
Yeah, I say bath.
I think they're expecting me to extend the A, like a lot of people in the
Bath.
South that I'm from. The North,
Bath.
we do things differently in the
Sure,
North.
you-
You need to learn.
It's a bath.
Said any different?
Yeah, too.
We're all saying the same.
Watching the look of disappointment.
Do you say bath different than
the odd
just
American,
bath?
Very odd American. As they ask me to pronounce this
Weird.
is heartbreaking.
I don't understand how else is
I don't say
Yeah.
bath. I say bath.
it's a bath?
off.
Sometimes very odd American. As they ask me to pronounce this is heartbreaking in many ways.
No, it's just
I
bath.
don't say bath.
I'm going to go for a bath here. Sounds very posh.
It's a bath.
But I am
Went for a bath there, 10 hours.
No.
It
Fast.
brings an out of league to the Americans that hears it. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Thinking of bath, you can't really have a bath without water unless you might
Water.
do that all
Water.
the time. And as you heard just there, I pronounce it water.
Water.
Just like most British people.
Again,
As I pointed out in my last video.
I think me and the Americans are going to be closer together.
Yep, I agree. Adam, you and I are both saying water. He's saying something else.
Particularly the waiters that are serving me, when they'll ask me, what do you want for drink? And I'll say, water, white, water, white, water, white,
Water.
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 Yeah, it's water.
Like lemon or lime with that, sir.
It's quite good.
But it's the more discerning Americans.
Would you like lemon or lime?
Water. Any of these words, put in the comments if you say them differently. Especially because I know I've got some of you guys that are over there with these guys, or were over there and came over here.
Water.
We say water.
So I don't have to deal with this word all that often. And I don't own
Jar.
my own house. So I don't
From a shower, isn't it?
garage, I would say. But you know what? Between you
It's-
and me, it's actually one of those words that I think actually.
It's a garage, not a garage. It sounds like carriage to me, which I know that they call cars carriages. That's a car, but it's garage. Got the car parked in the garage.
Sounds a little less elegant when the British say it. Garage. Park the car in the garage.
Open the garage there. I need a.
No.
The word bar. Bath. They extend the A. Garage.
Garage.
It's a mouthful though, the way they say it. Like, I'm going to park the car in the garage. Then I'm going to lift up the hood and the bonnet, and I'm going to check the windscreen.
We don't try it.
Make sure that the indicator is working correctly.
He's quite
None of
good.
that made sense, but
Except for he used words that we don't use. We don't use boot and bonnet. It's a hood in the trunk.
Ah, the classic.
Yeah, dude.
Tomato.
Tomato.
You say tomato, I say tomato. Well,
It's
true.
tomato.
Tomato.
I do say tomato. Funny story, I was in Subway once and I was ordering a sandwich, which is generally what you do in Subway.
Tomato.
I think that the sandwich maker had worked out that I was English very early.
Now, let me
Probably.
pause this for a second, because here's the other thing about the U.S., for you non-U.S., is that the United States is huge. It's way bigger than you could even imagine you think it is. The United States of America is massive. And every different area in America speaks differently. There's different accents. There's different ways to say words. There's different words used that aren't used in other parts. Like I can tell you that I've never been to Louisiana, but I've heard people talk from Louisiana and they use words and accents and things. I have no idea what they're saying. It's like them saying a foreign language to me. I have no idea. When you get down into like Southern Florida, that's going to sound more like me. And that's because it's a lot of implants from all over. And so this is kind of your basic United States American accent is mine. And I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Seattle. We all basically talk pretty much like this. As you go down to California gets a little bit different. They get a little more beachy or poshy, depending on what type of people you're talking to. And a lot of Spanish, Mexican influence in California. Also lived in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona sounds a lot like this, but also a lot of Mexican culture is in Phoenix. And so I lived there for almost 9 years, still never learned Spanish, but I know enough that when I'm talking to certain people, I can understand kind of what they're saying and be able to have a conversation, sort of. Moving here to Texas for the last year, it is hit or miss. I've walked into stores where everybody in the store sounds like me, and then I've walked into a store where everybody got that super Texas twang, and it is howdy partner, and boy, how you doing, and stuff. And it really is store to store. Here in northern Texas, it is a hodgepodge. I've been down to San Antonio once now, and it was more Texas-y that you think. But let me quickly say that people here are amazing. I lived in Chicago for a while. There is definitely a accent to people in Chicago, and they say some words that are a little bit different. But even Chicago, I think, over the years has gone more towards a regular. Same with you go to New York and New Jersey or in the South or along the East Coast. It really is different all over the United States. And so it kind of makes some of these things, because even here, like he's saying, what's he saying? Tomato. I say tomato. But I can tell you that there are places in the United States where they say tomatoes. So it depends on what Americans you're talking about. Let's get back to it.
We got further down the line, and apparently the cards were turning in her head. She knew she was waiting. She was waiting for the moment that I got some tomato to hear me say it that way. But here's a bit of a twist. I've been burned so many times on that word.
Tomato.
Americans, that I'd actually reverted to
Tomato.
Tomato. Kind of like
Can I have a
how with
tomato?
water I have the... I did that
Water,
with
tomato,
as well.
garage.
So when it came
Can
to
I just say that, say if somebody came up to me and I didn't know what they were, and they were like, try and taste this tomato, that actually makes me want to eat it. If somebody comes up to me and my accent says, here, try that tomato. Tomato sounds more exotic.
I would have put the on my sandwich.
Okay.
I disappointed the crap out of myself by saying tomato.
Yeah.
Try to charge me extra. Of course, there's so much more to
Potato.
that song, tomato. There's the second part where it says, you say potato, I say potato.
No one says potato.
Yeah, no, it's potato.
No one says potato.
Say potato.
Nobody.
I don't.
I agree with all of you guys. It's
I
potato.
feel like this. Don't we say this word the same? Potato.
It's potato or spud.
Maybe a kid trying to learn how to say it.
Tater.
Even they wouldn't. That's too complex.
Mhm.
What do you call it? It's
Whoever
potato.
wrote that song needs to really think about their linguistic choices in life. Vitamin is great, because this is another one where there's
Vitamins.
What did you guys just say?
Firstly, of course, there is the fact that I
Did they just call them vitamins? Vitamin. Vitamin? It's a vitamin. Not a it's a vitamin. Both y'all is strange for that one. It's a vitamin.
tea, most of you guys don't.
Vitamin.
You guys mean America. I don't mean to.
Vitamins.
It's a vitamin.
Sure they do.
But the biggest difference here, of course, is how we pronounce the first I in the word. So as you heard right there, I would say
Yeah.
which sounds like an embarrassing sex
That's right.
word. Whereas Americans would say I. They're obsessed with I. It sounds like I.
I'm it.
And related stuff. The word herb. It's there. I
Herding.
pronounced it with an H at the beginning because there's an H there. That's
Yeah, but you
probably
don't
something
pronounce the
you
R,
all over
Lawrence.
the- This is something that a lot of Americans may not know about.
It's a herb
We often pronounce
with an
the
H. Herb.
as H. We put an
Herb.
H on the word
Go and
H.
grabbing some herbs from the. Oh, put the herb on the plate. Herb.
It's a herb.
Ding.
This is getting all confusing. But it's herb. Herb. Although
Yeah.
we don't pronounce the R in herb for it either. Unless you're from the West Country. You
Yeah,
might-
we say it all. Herb.
And you might drop the H.
H-E-R-B. Herb.
It was a nice herb that I put on my, I don't know, toast.
Lord of the Rings accent.
Next up, right on schedule, is the word schedule. Now, I am often goaded into saying this word for Americans. It's quite embarrassing.
Schedule.
because it's not
What do you say?
schedule, They tell me that I'm incorrect. And then
I know what I say. What is?
If you look at the word historically, it actually originates from Greek, and typically speaking, a lot of Greek
Fucking
loan
Greece.
words that begin with the SCH, like the word school, are pronounced ska.
It's it.
Shoes.
Whereas it's
We say schedule. We say schedule. Let's move this a little bit. I think that I kind of. I don't know if I've had Adam this whole time here. Think about it. Have I been missing Adam this whole time here? I don't know. It changed on me, but I say schedule, not schedule or whatever. I say schedule.
words like schmaltz that came from German that get that kind of sh sound. So really, I think Americans. I'll give you this one.
Yeah.
We win. Don't get used to it.
Schedule.
Schedule.
We may have won the War of Independence.
Schedule.
But we reinvaded you with the Beatles and Harry Potter, David Beckham, everything cool from England.
And he lives in the gentleman on the main screen. He lives in like South Dakota or something now.
Word,
Brilliant.
Sons of this little fella.
Brilliant.
Who I love
Well
so
done.
much. Is the word brilliant. I don't know why it is, but Americans really like to hear me say brilliant.
Brilliant.
When I was working
This
as a
day is
supervisor
brilliant.
once in
Brilliant.
America for a company.
Everyone who likes and subscribes to my channel will have a brilliant life.
Exactly what he said.
Presiding over
I say brilliant.
And I often said that phrase.
Brilliant.
And they, did it for the job. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. And they would giggle, and then they would come back to me.
Why is it so funny?
That sounds normal. Brilliant.
It was the most unproductive.
Brilliant.
time of my life. Where you going, cat? Oh, okay. Brilliant. But Americans don't really sort of say it any different.
He's got a cat dealing with him. My cat's running around over here screaming at me.
Brilliant.
I think they just like the context.
Brilliant.
I have heard Americans start to say it in that context. Something is amazingly good, that it's brilliant. But more
He
often
does
than
just not say it.
Americans use it to mean that someone is brilliant, as in they're quite smart, but a brilliance about them intellectually.
Okay.
But what I would advise right now, if you're watching this video, even if you just think my cat is cute and nothing else is really grabbing,
Like and subscribe.
share this video right now with the words, "This is brilliant."
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got 11 words I'm going to say out loud, and I want you to kind of, give me some sort of feedback in the comments box down below if you said similar to me.
Okay, you say it.
Squirrel. Mobile.
Squirrel,
Ah.
mobile, bath, water,
Garage.
garage,
Tomato.
tomato,
Potato.
tomato.
Vitamin.
I copied him. It's tomato.
Brilliant. I feel like
Yeah, it tomato. There are a couple words he says water the same. The other guy says water the same. Brilliant. I think we're the same. But yeah, a lot of those, they don't surprise me at all. I thought actually because where Adam lives up in Northern Ireland, I believe. Scotland, Ireland. I don't know which one's the top of he lives. I don't remember. He lives at the northern top of the UK. I thought that he would say things a lot that there was really going to be three. There was only a couple that were three different styles, but there you go. That's how we say it, or at least how I say it, coming from the Pacific Northwest. But like I said, man, if I go down the street and grab a real Texan and bring him in here, and he's going to say it all completely differently than I just said it. That's the U.S. We're a hodgepodge, melting pot, if you were. So anyways, thank you. Like, subscribe, join the family, the cynical Italian family. That's me, Josiah. Yeah, that was Adam Couser. And thank you. See you on the next one. Later. What kind of more stuff does this guy got? Let's see what else.